Philip Michael Thomas was born on May 26, 1949, in Columbus, Ohio. Before Miami Vice, he worked in theater and played small roles in films. But his life changed in 1984 when he landed the role of Detective Ricardo "Rico" Tubbs, the smooth-talking New York cop who teamed up with Sonny Crockett. Tubbs was the perfect counterpart to Crockett, more reserved, intelligent, and always stylish. He brought a cool sophistication to the show, and his chemistry with Johnson made them one of TV's most iconic duos. During the Miami Vice years, Thomas famously coined the term EGOT, expressing his dream of winning all 4 awards. However, after the show ended in 1989, he struggled to find major roles in Hollywood. Unlike Johnson, Thomas stepped away from Hollywood in the early 2000s. His most notable work after Miami Vice was voice acting. He played Lance Vance in Grand Theft Auto: Vice City, introducing him to a new generation of fans. At 75, Thomas leads a quiet life, focusing on spirituality, music, and motivational speaking. Though he never achieved his EGOT dream, his legacy as Ricardo Tubbs remains strong, proving that some roles are truly unforgettable. Michael Talbot was born on February 2, 1955, in Waverly, Iowa. Before Miami Vice, he had roles in films like First Blood alongside Sylvester Stallone. However, his most famous role came in 1984 when he was cast as Detective Stan Switek. Switek was a key member of the Miami Vice squad, known for his expertise in surveillance and undercover work. While Crockett and Tubbs handled the dangerous fieldwork, Switek and his partner, Larry Zito, ran surveillance operations from their van, often providing crucial intel to bring down criminals. Switek was also the show's comic relief, known for his funny one-liners and more laid-back attitude compared to his colleagues. However, he wasn't just there for laughs. His character went through serious struggles, including a heartbreaking battle with gambling addiction in later seasons. After Miami Vice ended, Talbot had a harder time landing major Hollywood roles. He appeared in some TV movies and guest starred on shows, but he never found another role as memorable as Switek. Today, at 70, Michael Talbot lives a quiet life away from Hollywood. While he occasionally appears at fan conventions to celebrate Miami Vice, he has largely stepped away from acting. Talbot is also known for his political views and activism, occasionally making public statements about his beliefs. Though he no longer works in Hollywood, his role as Detective Switek remains a fan favorite. Even decades later, Miami Vice fans still remember him as the loyal, funny, and tough detective who was always ready to back up his team. Edward James Olmos was born on February 24, 1947, in Los Angeles, California. By the time he joined Miami Vice in 1984 as Lieutenant Martin Castillo, he was already a respected actor, known for his work in theater and film. Unlike the flashy and stylish Crockett and Tubbs, Castillo was the silent, intense, and no-nonsense leader of the Miami-Dade Vice Squad. His calm, almost mystical presence made him one of the most intriguing characters on the show. He rarely raised his voice, but when he did, everyone listened. His mysterious past, which hinted at deep connections with Asian crime syndicates, only added to his legendary status. Olmos' powerful performance earned him a Primetime Emmy Award in 1985 for Outstanding Supporting Actor. His role as Castillo became one of the most iconic law enforcement portrayals in TV history. Even during his Miami Vice years, Olmos was already making waves in film. He starred in Stand and Deliver, where he played real-life teacher Jamie Escalante. His outstanding performance earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, making him one of the first Latino actors to achieve this honor. Olmos never stopped working. In the 2000s, he gained another massive following as Commander William Adama in Battlestar Galactica, proving that his ability to play strong, commanding figures was unmatched. At 78, Olmos remains active in film, television, and activism. He has dedicated much of his career to advocating for Latino representation in Hollywood, helping to pave the way for future generations of Latino actors. He continues to appear in hit films and TV shows, most recently in Mayans MC and Narcos, Mexico. Though he has played many roles, fans will always remember him as the quiet but deadly Lieutenant Castillo, one of the most respected TV bosses of all time. John Deal was born on May 1, 1950, in Cincinnati, Ohio. Before joining Miami Vice, he had appeared in small film and TV roles, but his biggest break came in 1984 when he was cast as Detective Larry Zito, the surveillance expert and loyal partner of Detective Stan Switek, played by Michael Talbot. Zito was an important part of the Miami Vice team, often working behind the scenes on undercover operations and stakeouts. While Crockett and Tubbs were chasing criminals in high-speed car chases, Zito and Switek were setting up wiretaps and monitoring drug deals. The duo also provided comic relief, balancing the intense and violent nature of the show with light-hearted moments. However, Zito's time on Miami Vice was cut short in Season 3. In one of the most shocking moments of the series, Zito was killed by a drug dealer while working undercover. His unexpected death devastated fans, making it one of the first major character deaths in the series. John Diehl chose to leave the show voluntarily because he wanted to explore other acting opportunities. It was a risky move, but it ultimately paid off. After leaving Miami Vice, Diehl went on to have a long and successful acting career. He starred in hit movies such as Stargate, A Time to Kill, 1996, and Jurassic Park 3. He also made appearances in TV shows like The West Wing and The Shield. Now 74 years old, Diehl has mostly retired from acting but still makes occasional guest appearances. His decision to leave Miami Vice early may have been controversial at the time, but it allowed him to build a diverse and successful career beyond the world of Miami Vice. Fans still remember Larry Zito's shocking death, and his character remains one of the most tragic figures in Miami Vice history. Don Johnson was born on December 15, 1949, in Flat Creek, Missouri. Before Miami Vice, he spent years struggling in Hollywood, appearing in small TV roles and low-budget films. But everything changed in 1984 when he was cast as Detective James "Sonny" Crockett, the smooth, stylish Miami cop who became an instant icon. Crockett wasn't just any detective, he was the epitome of 80s cool. With his pastel suits, designer stubble, and pet alligator, he brought an unmatched level of swagger to crime fighting. His on-screen chemistry with Philip Michael Thomas, Tubbs, and his brooding intensity made Miami Vice one of the most influential TV shows of all time. The show dominated pop culture, and Johnson became a superstar. He won a Golden Globe in 1986, released a hit song, Heartbeat, and even dated celebrities like Barbra Streisand. But after Miami Vice ended in 1989, Johnson found it hard to escape the shadow of Sonny Crockett. Fast forward to 2025, and Don Johnson has successfully reinvented himself. In the 90s, he led another hit cop series, Nash Bridges, which ran for 6 seasons. Over the years, he proved his versatility with roles in films like Django Unchained and Knives Out. Even at 75, Johnson is still active in Hollywood. He has embraced his Miami Vice legacy while continuing to take on new and exciting roles. Fans still recognize him as Sonny Crockett, a character that will forever be a part of TV history. Sandra Santiago was born on April 13, 1957, in the Bronx, New York. She started her acting career in theater and television, but her big break came in 1984 when she was cast as Detective Gina Calabrese on Miami Vice. Gina was one of the few female detectives on the show, and she was more than just a side character. She was a strong, independent officer who could hold her own in the dangerous streets of Miami. Whether she was going undercover to bust criminals or handling complex emotions in her on-again, off-again romance with Sonny Crockett, Gina brought a much-needed layer of depth and emotion to the show. Her presence in Miami Vice was groundbreaking. At a time when women in crime dramas were often just love interests or victims, Santiago's portrayal of Gina showed that women could be just as tough and fearless as their male counterparts. After Miami Vice ended in 1989, Santiago continued to work steadily in television. She appeared in numerous soap operas like Guiding Light and One Life to Live. But her biggest post-Miami Vice success came in The Sopranos, where she played Jeannie Cusimano, a close friend of the Soprano family. At 68, Sandra Santiago is still active in Hollywood. She has continued to appear in crime dramas, including guest roles on Blue Bloods and Gotham. Santiago is also a respected figure in the Latino acting community. She paved the way for more strong Latina leads in television, inspiring countless actresses who followed in her footsteps. Though she has taken on many roles over the years, fans will always remember her as Gina Calabrese, one of the toughest detectives on Miami Vice. Olivia Brown was born on April 10, 1960, in Livonia, Michigan. When she joined Miami Vice in 1984 as Detective Trudy Joplin, she became one of the few female officers in the squad. Trudy was often paired with Gina Calabrese, played by Sandra Santiago, forming a powerful duo of female undercover detectives. Unlike Gina, who often had romantic entanglements with Crockett, Trudy had a more independent, career-focused role. She was tough, resourceful, and fearless, often going undercover in high-risk situations. Despite her strong presence, she was often overshadowed by the more prominent male leads. However, Miami Vice fans appreciated her depth, especially in emotional storylines, such as her difficult relationships and the dangerous situations she found herself in. After the show ended in 1989, Brown continued to act in television, landing guest roles in series like Seventh Heaven, Moesha, and Family Matters. Now 65 years old, Olivia Brown has stepped away from the Hollywood spotlight. While she occasionally appears at Miami Vice fan events, she has chosen to live a quieter life outside of acting. Unlike some of her co-stars, Brown didn't pursue major film roles after Miami Vice, but she left a lasting impact as one of the few strong female detectives on 1980s television. Her portrayal of Trudy Joplin remains a fan favorite, proving that she was an essential part of the Miami Vice team.